Hello soulmates, welcome to class. Welcome to our armhole princess start Bustier. So for us to start, we're going to be taking our basic measurements or drafting a basic pattern. So to start with the basic pattern, here is the back measurements or the back pattern drafting. Our neck depth for the back is 1 inch. Neck width is 3 inches. The shoulder is divided by 2. On the shoulder line, I'm dropping it down by 1 inch, right? And I'm going to connect it to the neckline width, 1 inch. So after the 1 inch, I'm going to mark the length of the back measurement, and I'm going to go in by 0.75 so that and connect it towards the neckline so that will eliminate any form of zipper bulge at the back. Okay, so from where that slant is, from where the slant started, the 0.75, I'm going to mark my waist circumference divided by 4, and I will add 1 inch for that to it, right? Once that is done, I'm going to rule it across. This is just a 15 minutes video, so kindly stay tuned and see the best part of it. So my armhole depth is gotten by dividing the bust circumference into 6. Whatever you get, add 1.5 to it. So I'm going to mark this across, making sure that I have it on a straight line so that no part will be slanted or higher than the other. Okay, so I'm going to be starting this measurement from the paper, not the marking, so that I can have a straight line connecting to the shoulder line that I've already marked before. While marking the bust circumference, I'm going to be starting from the slanted line, okay, so that will not run any shortage. So I'll connect it, bust divide by 4, that is the line I've just marked, and I'll connect to the waist measurement, right? So this draft is just as simple as anything. The armhole divided by 4 is what? Divided by 2 rather, that is locating the midpoint of the back armhole. Okay, so depending on your cross back measurement, you can go in by half an inch or just use your curve, your armhole curve, and connect to the shoulder point just the way you see it. So the back is just the simple as possible. So you can use your bust span to get the midpoint where the dart will be marked, or divide the armhole into 2 and get the center for the back dart. I hope this is clear enough. Okay, so once you mark it on a straight line, we're marking half inch on both sides. That is getting our dart intake for the back. I didn't mark differently. I just marked the 1 inch at the same time, half inch on both sides. Okay, so the back is done right now. We're going over to the front. And to go over to the front, the armhole depth for the back is the same thing with the armhole depth for the front. Okay, so if I have 9 inches depth for the front, for the back, I'm having the same for the front, and I'm going to connect their lines together, right? So now we're going to work on the upper part, which is our armhole depth 3 inches, our neckline depth 3 inches, the neckline width 3 inches, the shoulder line divide by 2, the same thing we have for the back. That's what we're having for the front. The drop down for the front shoulder is 1.5. Remember, at the back we did 1 inch. So for the front is 1.5, so that the garments will relax well on the shoulder, and we're going to connect our neckline the way it is. So this is just a very simple something to do. We're going to bring down our armhole to the armhole depth. Okay, very simple. In case you do not know how to draft the basic bodice, this is just simplified. We're marking our bust depth. Bust depth, this is about 11 inches or 10.5, depending on your measurement. This is not constant. It is the measurement I'm working with. So on that line, I'm going to mark our bust divide by 4 and we'll mark it across. Okay? So next thing follows. In case you've not subscribed to this channel, please kindly do so. For the armhole, I'm going to go up by 3 inches, then go in at that point by 0.75. After marking my bust circumference divide by 4 on the armhole, I'm going to use my armhole curve and connect the dots together. Very simple to understand and follow. Okay, use your curve and connect them together like so. So once that is done, connecting the bust to the armhole, we're going to be locating our shoulder to waist length for the front, shoulder to waist length for the front. In most cases, the front and back are not supposed to be on the same line. So waist divided by 4 plus 1 inch basic dart is what we're going to mark. And we're going to connect it to the armhole or to a bust line. So I'm going to be connecting it to the bust line like so. We formed our box. This is getting more and more interesting. So I'm going to mark the under bust length, the under bust length. So kindly do well to subscribe to this channel. Very simplified approach to pattern drafting and you get what you want. So we have the armhole, the bust, the under bust and the waistline. Okay, so next step is to get our bust span measurements. Our bust span measurement is nipple to nipple divided by 2, no addition. So I'm going to mark that on a straight line. Remember we added 1 inch for that, for the waist dart, but before then we're going to get our bust dart, which is the difference between the back length and the front length. So whatever it is that is the difference, it could be 1 inch, 1.5, 2 inches, even 3 inches. Just mark it from the bust line down, just the way you see it. So we're going to be taking that for the waist, that 1/2 inch on both sides, and I'm going to mark it just the way you've seen it to the bust point. So here comes the big deal for the under bust tightening. I'm going to measure the under bust divide by 2, right? Under bust divide by 2, skipping the darts in between. I'll mark wherever it stops. So whatever that is left, I will use it to tighten the under bust. But then it might not be enough. So I could just use whatever comes into my mind to tighten it. So on the left hand side, I'm using 1 inch from the dart leg. And then on the other side, I'm marking 1/2 inch. This bust here is bust 36 or bust 37. I can't just remember. Bust 36, 37. And it was so fitted on the person. Okay, so I'm going to curve. See the way I'm placing my arm and my curve, it will help to curve very well. So I'm going to connect to the waistline in a very slanted curve because the person has tummy, kind of small tummy. So you see the way it goes, very easy and simple. So let's measure what we have. How much are we owing the dart? Skip the dart, right, and then mark your actual measurement. This is where it is. Good. So this is where our marking, our line is going to start from. about half an inch outside. Then at the waistline, we're going to do the same thing, skip that and then mark wherever it is. Okay, so we're going to be connecting these lines to the bust points so that we do not owe our pattern, and the pattern does not owe us. Okay, so the only thing we're going to be adding is our sewing allowance. So now the next step is to get our armhole darts. So I'm just connecting the line to where it's supposed to get to the additional line or measurement that we have after the tightening. So next step is to get our armhole dart. The armhole can be placed anywhere. It can be at the midpoint, it can be above the midpoint, wherever. I think this is above the midpoint. So see the way I place my curve and I connected. Then I'm going to tighten it by 1.5 inch and I'll connect on a straight line. I'll connect on a straight line. Remember, I tightened by 1.5 inch, so I'm going to go up by 1.5 inch. I will shift the line. You can see it by 1.5, the amount we used in tightening. Then we have a new armhole, connecting it to the new line, the 1.5 inch out. Very easy, right? Very simple. So we're going to blend the points so that we do not have a pointed bustier. So use the curve to blend it properly. So it's just as simple as this. Very simple, very, very simple. Okay, so we're not going to have any shortage. Don't worry, there's no shortage. So this part is going to go out. It's going to go out. And our pattern is ready. Okay, the pattern is ready. In case you feel it's not well curved, you can use a smoother curve to align it properly depending on the size of the bust. Okay, so this video is all about drafting an armhole princess dart. In the next video, we're going to be looking at, so the pattern or the garment has what do I call it, a neckband or a collar. Okay, so I'm raising it up by half an inch so that the collar does not fall down or the collar does not drop down, depending on the size of the neckline I'm working with. I need it to be high, so I did 2.5 instead of 3 inches. The back, I'm going to be doing 0.75 instead of 1 inch, right? So for the back dart, I'm going to connect to the shoulders. I like to connect to the shoulders instead of the armhole for the back. So this is just the way it is. We're going to be cutting everything out. So like I said before, the back neck depth, I'm going to be raising it up a bit by 0.25 so that we'll have 0.75 left. That is because of the collar, so that it can be where it's supposed to be. Instead of getting below, it should be high. Okay, so I'll connect it to my neck width rather. I hope I'm talking to somebody. I hope I'm making sense. If you think you understood something from this video, which I know you did, kindly leave a comment in the comment section and let's see what else you would want to learn concerning this. Of course, the next video is going to be how to sew this, right? So this is the cutting out, leaving the dart intakes, and of course make sure you close your bust dart. Close the bust dart and blend it properly. So if you have any question, please kindly ask in the comment section. Like this video, share it for us so that others can learn, and then we're going to proceed in the next video. My name is Justice, and I like to simplify complicated issues. All right, so see ya. Bye.